Finally, we have been able to say goodbye to 2020 and we are welcoming a spanking new year, 2021, hopefully full of positive vibes. But you must be emerging, just about recovering from the Christmas chaos, traveling, whatever little travel you could do, meeting family and friends over the new year, and diving headlong into another chaos, which is back to school. Especially if you have 2 or 3 children going back to school, maybe the first one starting school. But not to worry, we at Deidaa, Samita, myself and my team, plus members of Deidaaecogifts, the Deidaa Mail Club. So we have got tips and tricks for you how to manage going back to school. But first things first, as I always say, who am I? Who is Samita and why is she talking about all of these things? So I am Samita, I am an eco-entrepreneur, a fashion designer and academic. So we are based in Melbourne, Australia, but we have a global presence. So we have clients all over the world, clients, members of our mail club, followers, subscribers who subscribe to our channel and also subscribe to our groups, which is the first group is like Eco-Tex, Learning, Sourcing, Manufacturing, and the second one is Learn with Samita Facebook group. So come along, join me and I'll let you know how to manage your back to school efforts. First thing, clothes, wardrobe. And I'll let you into a little secret. This is not just about children. I have done this all my life. So decide on, lay out the clothes the night before. Or maybe during the weekend, at least for the first 3 days of school, you can try doing that during the weekend. So you can wash, iron the clothes and put them on the hanger, on the rack, and designate a space, a particular rack, maybe in your children's bedrooms, just next to their beds where they can wake up in the morning, and if they are old enough to take care of, they can dress themselves, then let them become self-sufficient as soon as possible. So while you are laying out the clothes, you can also check for rips, stains, missing buttons, and you can repair. So what happens, I understand that school uniforms can be quite expensive. So if you repair in time, there's this a proverb that says a stitch in time saves 9, and it couldn't be more true here. So if you see some unpicked stitches or something coming apart, maybe a broken button or 2, repair it right away, and that way you would be adding life to your children's school uniforms. I would also use these kind of little calico bags to put all your small accessories. So put your hairbands, your scrunchies, your scarves, your hankies, your socks, all of those little bits and bobs can go into these these kind of drawstring bags. So drawstring bags, unlike plastic bags, they last forever, and you are also inculcating the right value in your children. So, you don't have those early in the morning, Mom, I cannot find my hairband, I cannot find my scarf. So you can put everything, all of those kind of things in this little bag and just hang it here, alright. Then make use of this particular space for, your school bag, the school backpack, for instance. And when you are buying a backpack, you should be careful. Take a note of these kind of features, the tabs, the pulls, for instance, It's very important for zips to have these kind of pulls, otherwise it becomes too fiddly, and it might get stuck, the zip, or your child may not be able to open it with ease. And if the zips do not have pulls, you can even be a little creative, a little innovative, and maybe attach some big nice pom-poms here. make sure that they have these kind of, you know, little compartments, so where you can put your juice bottles, water bottles, so that, you know, your child doesn't have to open the main compartment of the bag. So every time she opens the main compartment, chances are that she'd end up losing things. So we have the big one here, and we would also have a small compartment here. Maybe you can put a few things which, you know, little scrunchies or little munchies, for instance, things she would need off and on without having to open the actual bag. So make use of all of that and ensure that you have packed the bags and put them on this little shelf just below the clothing. So in the morning they have everything ready. And also teach your children. So I'd come to that later, but first of all I would also say that use these kind of big bags, the pocket bags. And what I have done here is, you know, things like wind cheaters, jackets, shoes, everything goes into the pockets. The bigger pocket for your jackets, for your hoodies and things like that, and all these little compartments for maybe they'd have to wear a pair of shoes and, you know, maybe carry a pair of sneakers for sports and things like that. So all of that goes in here. So this is your entire school wardrobe on one rack, and teach your children right from the outset that they pick up things from here, from this stand, when they come home they can, you know, place everything on that same rack. Otherwise you'd see, you know, if they get into the habit of just, you know, chucking things everywhere, you know, the whole house is full of children's clothing, you know, uniforms, water bottles, backpacks, you know. So it becomes a little tough for you, a little hard for you to do all that cleaning. So inculcate the right values in your children right from day one. So have a designated space, preferably in their bedroom, where they have all the everything, the uniform laid out, organized in the morning, and when they are coming back in the evening, after school in the afternoon, they know exactly that this is the designated space where all my belongings, my backpack, my water bottle, my jumper, my clothes, it will all go on this rack, ready to be used maybe next week or next day, and ready for mom to maybe pick up those that need to go for washing. So mom doesn't have to hunt around, look everywhere for things. She can just come to the rack, the shelf, and take out what needs to be consigned to washing, for instance. So that was about clothing. What's next? Food, naturally. What's a mom's worst nightmare? You know, when at the end of the day, the lunch box that you had packed with so much care comes back to you untouched. You know, the contents are right there, they haven't been consumed. But not to worry. Let's talk about what we can do to make lunch boxes a little more appealing. Also, you know, when you're preparing, let's say about 5 lunch boxes, say 2 or 3 for your children, 1 for yourself, another for the hubby, it can get to be a little too much. So what can you do in advance? What can you do to plan your lunch boxes, you know, meal prep? So what we can do is we can get hold of these kind of tiffins. So these tiffins would normally come in 2 or 3 tiers. So what you can do is you can use the bottom tier. For instance, I have selected multi-grain bread, but you can use anything that your children would also like and consume. Multi-grain is healthy, but it has to be a balance between healthy and tasty. So, and for filling, you can use cucumber, you can use chutneys, you can use Nutella. I remember when my daughter was a little child, she would literally survive on Nutella sandwiches. So these you can prepare beforehand. You can wrap them with beeswax wraps and just put it in this, in this little container, the bottom tier of the tiffin. On the top one, you can use the top tiers for your nuts, your berries, your fruits, and you can pluck the cherries. For instance, you can pluck your cherries, pre-wash, pluck the cherries, and the cherries can go inside. So there you go, there you go. And with the strawberries, you can cut the top part. It can be washed, it can be plucked. All your berries and cherries and strawberries, you know, berries in general are good for everyone, especially for small children. So you can prepare your tiny little fruit platter, you know, tiny fruit platter in the top tier, and that can be another alternative for your lunch box. But the problem is, if you give like strawberries and blueberries all 5 days of the week, your child might get a little bored. So what you can do is, see this box? So this is an Indian spice box. It's used for Indian spices, Mediterranean spices, herbs, etc. But I also use this to hold my nuts, my different kinds of nuts, the seeds, the sunflower seeds, roasted chickpeas, and you can take a little bit of each and you can make your own pre-mix of nuts. Now you would tell me, Samita, why bother? We can buy like pre-mixed nuts. Yes, you can, but I'd give you a little tip here. So if you buy, you know, individual different kinds of nuts, you know, just maybe almonds or pistachios or cashew nuts, walnuts, very good for a growing brain. It looks like brain and it also contributes to the quality of your brain. Mingle them together and prepare your pre-mix, so you'll know exactly what's going into the pre-mix. And if you buy commercial ready-made kind of pre-mixes, you end up with maybe a lot of peanuts or groundnuts and a little else of anything else. So if you make your own pre-mix, it's so much more wholesome and it's so much more healthy and tasty. So that's another thing for your lunchbox. Now you would say, but I have a child who's allergic to nuts. You know that these days we also have to be mindful of the different allergies. So for the person who doesn't want nuts, what I would do is I would bake these mini muffins. I baked them last evening. So they are gluten free, they are nut free, so, and they are also low in sugar, because I am careful about the sugar content. So you can take all your mini muffins and you can pre-bake them and you can put them in the bread bag. You know, these bread bags are just lifesavers. So all of these can be made, pre-made, maybe over the weekend, and you put all your savory muffins, your sweet muffins. These are like little treats and they go into your bread bag and you can roll it up, store it like this. So that's another thing for your lunch box. And for your, see, children need variety, so, and they need to snack. So when you are giving whole fruits as snacks, you can use the mesh bags. You can store them here and you can even put a couple of apples, you know, any other whole fruit, peaches for instance, a banana maybe, and you know, you can just store it in this and also give it to your child like this. So, and for actually packing the lunch on the day, then these steel lunch boxes are just lifesavers. Why steel? Because steel is biodegradable, it's non-toxic, it's very sturdy and lasts for a long time. You wouldn't believe it, but I am still using my mother's steel utensils. So you can use the bigger compartment for your sandwiches, for anything else that you might, you know, the wholesome food that you might have prepared. And there's a little mini box here which is good for your the fruits and the nuts that we had prepared earlier. So this can be good for your fruits, this can be good for your there are two different shapes. So there's one which is a triangle, a rectangle, one which is a square. So there you go, you can put all your nuts in here. And you know what, sneaky, you can even maybe one day you can sneak in like a little sprout salad or something like that. So, you know, you can combine tasty with healthy and be very smart about it. And I would say that you get your children involved. You know, you don't have to do everything yourself. Like a 5 or 6 year old can contribute to the making of her school lunch. You know, she can help you prepare in the kitchen. So we have these aprons, which just as I am wearing an apron, so this is the adult apron, and it comes with matching kids aprons. So I have a neighbor who gave me a box of cookies for Christmas, and she actually had her daughter preparing that box of cookies for me, and I simply told her, they were so tasty, and I told her, you know what, the box of cookies was the best Christmas present that I received this Christmas. So get your kids involved, make the entire activity of going to school fun. You know, it should be fun, it should be joyful, it should be something that your child would look forward to. So learning should be associated with fun. You know, initially when a child is starting out, he or she might be scared to go to school. But if you associate going to school with joy, with happiness, with playful fun activities, then the child would get rid of that initial fright, you know, the scare, the anxiety associated with going to school will go away. You know, you should link learning, say, mathematical skills, you know, simple numerals, simple mathematics with toys like these. This one would teach you size, shape, the basic shapes, a sense of proportion. This one, these cute little people are not just people to play with, they also sharpen your numerical skills. So for instance, you can learn simple, you know, numerals like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not only about learning just the numerals, but you can also do simple mathematics with the whole thing, you know. So how much is 2 and 3? Get your child to do it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then would you want an orange top? So you've learned that 2 and 3 equals 5. You've also learnt about 3 colors. You've learnt about green, you've learnt about yellow, and you've also learnt about orange. So you see, learning becomes fun. It's not scary, it's not a drudgery, it's not boring. Your child would then look forward to going to school. So that's something you can incorporate in their regime, in their daily school going schedule, that it should be. That's the whole concept of Montessori, is about that. Learning is a playful, it's a joyous, it's a fun activity. So those were a few tips from Deidaa about going back to school. If you've liked this video, you know what to do. Just do the essential bits, you know, like, comment, subscribe and share. We rely a lot on you for spreading the Deidaa buzzword. So spread the Deidaa buzz among your friends, family, your neighbors, your colleagues, your pets, your cats, your dogs. We look forward to meeting you very soon with another beautiful vlog post. Bye for now. I'll catch you next time. Bye.